Okay, so now that we're sitting down, we can talk freely. Okay. No, so your potash is your potassium, your bone meal is phosphate, and your blood meal is nitrogen. All three you need. That's the N, P, and K that you find in most of your fertilizers. And that's what you use in the wintertime. That's what you put down and mix into the soil. I till my soil, I mix it up, break it up, everything else. I know there's a lot of controversy between, no till and till when it comes to your soil. I break it up because I like to make sure everything's worked down in there. That's just me. But you have your nitrogen, you have your phosphate, and you have your potassium. All three are necessary for good root growth, good leaf growth, and flowering and fruiting. Okay, that's what you do in the fall when you're preparing your beds for the spring. Then when you get to the spring, you want to early spring, like just after it stops being ridiculously cold outside. That's when you want to mix in your compost, your wet compost. So that's the compost that you've been making from your kitchen scraps, compost that you get from the store. That's your cow manure. That's your what's the word? Banana water, all that kind of stuff. That's your wet compost. That's the stuff you do in the spring before you put your plants down. So what I found out the past couple years is I did all my stuff in the fall, let the snow fall, let nature do whatever nature gonna do. Then in the spring, right before a couple weeks before you plant everything, like about 8 weeks before you plant everything, that's when you want to put down a fresh layer of compost and a fresh layer of ground soil or topsoil, whatever soil you're going to use. And that's what you plant your plants in. So you have all this rich stuff that you've built up over the winter that's under that, and then you have a fresh layer of nutrients sitting right there on top. That's how I've been able to get success the past 2 years. That has been my success. And then throughout the summer, depending on what stage of growth your plants are in, will determine what you want to happen. That's how the fertilizer works. So in the beginning, you want to give nitrogen rich fertilizer. So that's your kelp meal, your fish meal, your fish compost, your fish tea, compost tea, all that stuff that's high in nitrogen. That's what you want to put down at the beginning of the season, because that's what you want. You want leaf growth, you want root growth. You also want to make sure you have a good amount of phosphate in your fertilizers, because that's root growth. So phosphate is root growth, nitrogen is leaf growth. And then you have potassium. And then your potassium is what encourages the flowers. Now, I will say I think I may have those two mixed up with potassium and phosphate, but potassium is what gives you flowers as far as I remember. And the potassium with the flowers, that's your banana water, right? But you want the flowers so that you can get your fruit. Because without fruit, you don't have seeds. Yeah, we want that. So that's how the fertilizer works. You don't need to put worm castings on top of blood meal, on top of kelp meal, because all of those are nitrogen. All of those are high in nitrogen. You're gonna get a lot of leaves, but you're not gonna get no fruit. So don't put all of that on your tomatoes at the same time, because you're not gonna get any fruit. You're not. And then also rotating your garden. Rotate the beds. So like with my garden, I have my rotation is beans, leaf, root, fruit. And every time I get ready to plant something, I write it down, but I also try to remember what I put in the bed the season before, so I can make sure I don't do that the next season. So beans, leaf, root, fruit. So I keep all my root vegetables and fruits together. I keep all my beans together. I keep all my leaf vegetables together. So like the kale, cabbage, the lettuce, as y'all saw yesterday in the last video, I keep all that stuff together. And then fruit. So tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, all that stuff stays together in the same bed. And so that when it's time for me to, plant for the next season, I put a different group together. The only ones that are kind of funky are the cucurbits, which is like your squash, cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon, melons in general, is because they're heavy feeders and they don't play well in the sandbox with other plants other than herbs. Like that's what I found. Your herbs and your cucurbits and your grasses. So like sugarcane is real heavy feeder, corn is a really heavy feeder, and those two are considered grass. So I don't plant them with much else because they don't play nice with other plants. And then squash, pumpkins, cucumbers, I let them stay by themselves, but I plant them with herbs because they help to keep the pests down within, around the plants. But yeah, I just wanted to share that because I've been noticing in my Facebook groups and with people that folks is trying to do too much with these fertilizers, and they're trying to put everything in all at once, and then they're like, it's not growing, and it's like, yeah, because you fried it. Yeah. So I hope this helps. I know it was long, but just hang with me for a little bit.